Hello, friends. It's Hank, your Pajama Scholar, back with a continuation of our earlier discussion. Of course, late. Much later than I expected, but I guess that's one of the benefits of having to keep a specific schedule. Mind is always working all the time, but at least I'm not beholden to the clock. I used to very much hate being late, but I don't need any more stress in my life. Plus, it's beer 30. They're roofing my complex right now, and they dropped a roofing nail off that they're throwing roofing nails and stuff off the top of the building, and one of them lands, of course, straight up. I'm walking outside with a flip-flop, and on my left foot, had it been about a centimeter more to the left, I'd have had a roofing nail straight up through my foot. It went all the way through the flip-flop. So not the first time that's happened, actually. When I was a kid, I stepped on a wood pile that had some scrap wood in it, and a nail went all the way through my flip-flop and went all the way up through my foot. So at least it missed it by about a centimeter, so no tetanus shot today. I'm not an anti-vaxxer, okay? I would take a fucking tetanus shot. Lockjaw's real. I don't want that. As far as that experimental shit, though, no thank you. All right. Okay, let's get back right into it. Let's start with... we'll go back to Germany and Russia. How about that? That's where we left off, if I remember correctly. Actually, it looks like we left with Betraya and probably where I was going to go with the hidden hand. So we did talk about the pipeline. The three lines, which we could probably trace right now, but we'll go ahead and trace those later. You can trace them if you'd like. If we go to the map... I know that's the end point of one of three, and I think no matter what, one of them was going to go through Turkey. So I think we had some. So here's the Caspian Sea. So the oil fields are over here, but I was pretty sure that they were going to put a pipeline through Turkey no matter what. And the Ukraine, whether they liked it or not, and probably someplace up north through here, who knows. As for the three that were planned for the south, I know one of them was supposed to go through Israel, but I doubt very seriously that's going to happen, which puts the Israeli government in I would say, an unenviable position, having pissed off pretty much every Arab, and even their own population, and pretty much everybody else in the world, for that matter. So, you know. And it really does make me wonder about that third actor that I keep referring to that I haven't quite figured out yet, that I'm not certain the West has a handle on. I don't know what or who it is or why they're doing what they're doing, but let's not forget that the Caliphate has had a long history of incursions into Europe. Like, major naval battles were fought all throughout the Mediterranean for a very, very long time. And because the Muslim world has such a huge population to draw on, you would think that they have a significant amount of intellectual capital that they can spend It's like Suleiman the Great could pop out of nowhere and you wouldn't have any friggin' clue because they don't use cell phones. They don't advertise. The weapons that they're using probably is something that we will examine because, well, I suspect it's a hodgepodge of all sorts of different weaponry manufactured either like independently in areas like Yemen. They could be imported or sold from like less than reputable dealers, whether they be like disavowed Americans, disavowed Russians, disavowed Chinese. I mean, arms dealers have a tendency not to really give a rat's ass and not necessarily be state connected. And like I say, the Muslim world has got a big population to draw on, so it could really, I mean, quite frankly, they could have arms facilities anywhere. Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan. But I doubt that they would want to transport it that far. And even from what we hear about the Houthis, you know, being so well armed, well equipped in Saudi Arabia, because in Saudi Arabia, they made a major mistake. The Western power, I'm not saying this is the mistake of the Western powers, I'm saying this was the biggest mistake of the royal family in Saudi Arabia, is they had basically all the money in the world. Literally, all the money in the world. Anything they ever wanted, they could have. But they were so friggin' selfish and so greedy. All they wanted was, you know, fast cars, London real estate, maybe a tiger to drive around with. I know I've said this before, but they left the education of the youth in Saudi Arabia to the clerics, to the Wahhabis or Wahhabi clerics. So, and the Wahhabi clerics might not necessarily have been very supportive of the royal family, if you get my drift. So that's where this is coming from. I mean, Muslims, for the most part, I mean, it's forbidden to drink alcohol. They can be pretty strict. So you got a bunch of Wahhabi clerics teaching the generation, teaching the future, and they're going to carry forth whatever ideology that they were taught. And that might not be, like I say, loyal to the royal family, which puts Saudi Arabia in a terribly difficult position, especially when you've got that simian MBS bin Salman. I forget what his first name is. The one that had the hit on Khashoggi, who was a CIA agent, and I'm fairly certain he was a CIA agent and not an asset. And but I mean, who knows? I mean, we'll never be told. But that would be my suspicion, and that would also be like, it just seems that anybody or any entity, any country that's dumb enough to kill a CIA officer or agent, I mean, assets, they'll burn them, but woe betide the motherfucker that kills a CIA agent or officer, because they don't forget that. They do not forget it. Like, and eventually you will pay. I mean, who are we plebeians to fathom the minds of the people at the CIA? But personally, I think the things that you don't see, the wars that don't happen, the conflicts that are avoided, the fact that we didn't enter a thermonuclear holocaust in the 1960s, because we've had a relatively stable and peaceful world. You would think not. You would say, oh, no, because during my lifetime we've been at war for 30 years, but it's been relatively stable. I mean, the CIA did keep things mixed up in South America. No one entity became too powerful. And as you look at events going on around the world, I remember not that long ago, everybody had this blame America sort of ideology or opinion. Like, oh, it's always America's fault because we're supposed to be a world police. Like super cop, world police. So when shit goes down in Myanmar, or shit goes down in Ethiopia, or shit goes down anywhere, you've always got people flying flags or coming and make their case in the United States for help, for assistance, for military aid. Which is why, I'm talking about American neutrality here coming up in the future. Because we will, we're a war-weary people. We're sick of that bullshit. We're sick of being taxed to fucking death on the blood and then being pissed all over by everybody in the fucking world with an opinion that we're the world's biggest assholes, and we're not. Let me just give this one moment. Excuse the interruption.